Hey folks, this is Anthony Newby. I'm the Executive Director of NOC, and we're so happy to be working with you all in Bemidji. Here's a little known fact. I was born and raised in Bemidji from the time I was 1 to the time I was 18. So I live in Minneapolis. Our office is on Broadway Avenue in North Minneapolis, but a lot of ways my heart is in Bemidji with you all. We're told, especially after the election of Trump, that there's two Minnesotas, one in the city and one in urban and rural Minnesota, and they're not the same group of people. You all don't care about the same issues. All you care about in Bemidji is hunting and fishing. You don't care about race, you don't care about class, you don't care about the economy, and we just think that's simply not true. I know it's not true. So we want to be building with you all now through the foreseeable future, building some power, building really rebel cities all throughout the state, willing to push back on Trump's racist, xenophobic, homophobic, paternalistic agenda, and build something new and different in the state. And we want to be doing it with you all. You're the first place in the state that we're going outside of the city. We want to be building all over, but we're starting with you all. You're some of the smartest people in the entire state, and we want to build something beautiful with you all. So look forward to, over the next year or two, meeting with you all, working with you all. I hope you have a great meeting today. To be continued.
Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Tony Williams. I'm the Safety Beyond Policing organizer here at NOC. Wish I was there with y'all today. We got a bunch of really cool stuff going on. So our Safety Beyond Policing campaign is basically a campaign to try to figure out how to make our cities and our communities safer without sort of resorting to the same racist, antiquated policing models that we've had in the past. So it's a way of talking about how we can make our communities safer. At the same time, we're trying to figure out how to stop police brutality. So we've had a really successful campaign so far. It's only started mid last year, but last year in the city budget process, we actually reallocated a bunch of money to alternative community safety programs, ways of keeping the community safe without police. So one of those is sort of the focus of our work so far this year, right? So we got $250,000, which is the first money that's happened like this in the country, right? For alternative community safety options in the Broadway community, which is the neighborhood that our office is located in. And basically we've been organizing around that money, right? Making sure that it's actual community members who hear about the opportunity to apply for those grants and can actually, sort of come up with radical new ways of thinking about how we keep our community safe. So we had a meeting at our office last week with like 20 or 30 folks coming in and like just talking about what exactly that looks like. And the applications are going to be open starting this week, right? So on between Thursday the 27th and Tuesday the 3rd, we're basically going to have a couple different opportunities for community members to come in and fill out grant applications, right? And help to sort of generate ideas for how we can actually start building a safer world without resorting to police all the time. We're really excited about that. We think it's a model that can be really successful not only in Minneapolis, but also in St. Paul and in Bemidji and all across the state and actually all across the country. So a lot of things that are really exciting going on for us right now. And we're just trying to figure out what the next steps are and how we can keep our community safe and how we can, ultimately try and divest money from the police departments, right, that don't keep communities of color safe and reinvest in solutions that actually do keep us safe. So, really nice to meet you guys, kind of. Have a good meeting.
What's up, Bemidji? My name is Amber Jones. I'm the education organizer at NOC, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't be with you all. But here are my updates when it comes to education and a great opportunity for folks in the Bemidji area to get involved. So with my work, I do a lot of organizing and advocacy and activism around issues related to K-12 public education. Primarily that work is happening in the Twin Cities area. But I want to talk to you all today about an amazing movement that's growing called Kids Count on Us. Well, Amber, what is Kids Count on Us? Let me tell you. Kids Count on Us is a movement of child care providers, parents and teachers that want to see greater investments in childcare and early childhood education, and also want to do the necessary work of positioning childcare as a critical issue that all of the great decision makers in the state of Minnesota need to consider next year during elections. As you may know, childcare is super expensive. Now folks are talking about how childcare is more expensive than college tuition, and Minnesota is one of the top 5 states when it comes to childcare costs. This is an issue that is statewide. It's an issue in the Twin Cities, and it's an issue in greater Minnesota. People are dealing with shortages, not being able to get public assistance through CCAP, all types of issues. So this is why we need to organize. NOC and then the organization Isaiah, we have teamed up and we are canvassing childcare centers throughout the state of Minnesota, and we're asking people to sign on to this movement. Just last month, we brought 200 folks to the Capitol, and that was center owners, it was educators, it was parents, and kids. We had tons of kids too. We brought them to the Capitol for a rally, and they met with legislators. And now we need to go back to the Capitol these last 2 months to ensure that our state leadership does not put cuts to the Department of Human Services, which finances all the child care assistance and programs that we have in this state. So we need you. We need you in Bemidji. We need to continue to make this movement statewide. So this is what I need you to do. If you are someone who works in the child care space, whether you own a center, or if you are a teacher in a center, specifically on independently owned centers, we want to empower those who are doing this work independently. Most of those folks are women. Most of those folks, especially in the Twin Cities area, are women of color. We want to empower those folks. So if you are a provider, if you are a parent that has children or has had children in the child care system, a teacher, or just someone who really cares about this issue and wants to get fired up and do great work, I need you to do 2 things. The first thing I need you to do is take the one-pagers that talk about our campaign, that talk about Kids Count on Us. Take this information. Make sure that you are taking information, you are being able to share it with your friends and your family and really educate folks on what we're trying to do. The second thing I need you to do is that there will be sign-up sheets that are going around. And put your name down, put your phone, put your email address. I want to talk to you. I want to make sure that we are reaching out to you and that we can see the possibilities of building and expanding this movement in Bemidji. We are in Minneapolis. We are in St. Paul. We are in Brainerd. We are in Rochester. We are in St. Cloud. We're in Brooklyn Park. And we are continuing to expand. So let's put Bemidji on that list. Thank you so much, and we will see you soon.
Hello Bemidji, my name is Janice Watts. I'm the Environmental Justice Organizer here at NOC, Neighbors Organizing for Change. I'm going to give you a couple updates about what's going on with the campaign. We do a couple different things, some more local to Minneapolis and some more statewide. So a couple things in Minneapolis, we're looking at air quality and waste and how to make Minneapolis more of a zero waste city, so we're not doing things like burning our garbage, which affects our air quality and health. But statewide, we're looking at things more involved in clean energy policy and more issues around things like pipelines and how do we divest from fossil fuel usage and invest more in renewable energies that will be a boost to our economy, creating cleaner, better, and more family-sustaining jobs. So that has to do with what kind of things are moving at the legislature. So right now the legislature is they're working on this conference committee bill around the environment. It's called the Omnibus Bill on the environment, and we feel that it is a pretty bad deal for all Minnesotans, city and rural Minnesotans alike. So things like taking back regulations around how pipelines are moved through, things like mining, how are these permits decided. The legislature wants to take that control out of the hands of regulators, also out of the hands of citizens. So when citizens have the opportunity and the duty to comment on things like a gigantic pipeline running through your neighborhood, the legislature wants to take that power away from you, and we think that's absolutely wrong. So we're working on opposing the Environment Omnibus Bill, which again focuses on rollbacks on environmental regulatory agencies, things like the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, which deals with tracking pollutants in our communities, things like Department of Natural Resources, which are responsible for large-scale projects like forestry, again, like mining and pipelines, but also how does that impact our water quality, how does that impact our air quality, how is that pushing towards a cleaner, greener economy that we all need, every single one of us in this state. And then how utility companies are taking more power out of the legislature than us citizens and us, all of us human beings. We should all have a stake in how our government is planning and making decisions around our environment, because this environment belongs to all of us, not just a few in power. So we are working on, again, trying to oppose this bill at the legislature, amongst other more localized issues, but I know in Bemidji you guys have a lot of environmental justice issues and concerns, and so it's really exciting to see what kind of ways we can bridge that gap and work together as city Minnesotans and rural Minnesotans. So I'm really excited that this meeting is happening and really looking forward to being able to work with you all in the future on environmental justice. You can contact me at my email. It's Janiece, JANIECE, @mnnoc.org. Also my phone number if you want to call me, 651-303-7886. We have environmental justice community meetings here. I try to have them on a Wednesday evening. We'll be having one very soon, date to be announced, so please keep an eye out on the website and follow us on Facebook and all that kind of stuff, so you can get linked into when our next meeting is and get more plugged into the work. Thank you.
What's up, Bemidji? My name's Adam Robinson. I'm the policy organizer at NOC. It's my job to make sure that NOC members know what's going on in the community and at the Capitol and at city halls around the state. And I'm going to give you a quick update about what's happening at the Minnesota State Legislature and give you a couple quick action items that you can take action on today. So right now, the Minnesota State Legislature is debating its budget bill, spending a lot of time arguing about how we're going to be raising revenue and spending money in the state of Minnesota this year. But there's one hot issue that I really want to put on your radar and make sure that you're taking action on. Big corporate interests have been pushing so-called preemption legislation at the legislature this year that prevents cities from getting their own higher labor standards and raising their own city minimum wages. Not only would this take away earned sick and safe time from about 150,000 Minnesotans in Minneapolis and St. Paul, it would also make it illegal for cities like Bemidji and other communities across the state of Minnesota to set their own higher working conditions by advocating at the local level. Frankly, this is an attack on local democracy. Every community is different, and while we think the state should be able to set minimum standards, local government should be able to raise those standards to meet the needs of their own communities. This preemption legislation, it's called HF 600, isn't going to solve any of the problems that Minnesotans are facing. In fact, it makes local community voices unheard. So we know that what works in Minneapolis and Mankato may not work in Bemidji or Brainerd, so we're asking Governor Dayton to veto any preemption legislation that comes to his desk this year and to protect local control. So I have two action items that I want you to take action on today. The first is to pick up your phone right now and call Governor Dayton. You can call him at 1-800-657-3717, and it's a really quick, simple ask that we have of him. Ask Governor Dayton, hey, Governor Dayton, please veto HF 600. Please protect local control. The call will take you 60 seconds. If you call this evening, you'll probably get a voicemail, and you can just leave a quick message. The other thing that we're asking you to do is ask your city council members to pass a resolution that supports the governor and supports local decision-making authority. You can get a copy of this resolution by emailing me. It's Adam, ATOM, at mnnoc.org. I'd be happy to send it to you, work with you and your city council to make sure that this gets passed at the local level. Thanks so much for being at tonight's meeting. I look forward to connecting with all of you and working with you in the future. Have a great afternoon. Bye.
Hi Bemidji, my name is Joe. I'm the ally organizer for Neighborhoods Organizing for Change. My job is to do volunteer coordinating and help allies plug into NOC's work. I'm really excited about building relationships and alliances with folks in Bemidji, and I think we're all going to do a lot of great work together.
Hi, Rod Adams here, Economic Justice Organizer for Neighborhoods Organizing for Change. And first off, I want to say hi to everybody in the room who's made it to the member meeting of Bemidji. I feel like you can't stress the importance of connecting across cities in this time. After the election of Donald Trump, we know that to resist, we have to do it locally. We also have to connect with our neighbors all across the state and nationally. So this is really exciting to be talking to you guys. Economic justice, my job is the economic justice organizer at NOC, and my vision, I feel like NOC's vision of economic justice is an economy that works for everybody. Black and brown folks who can make a living wage, folks who can have steady work hours, folks who have protections like an earned sick and safe time. And not only that, but an economy that works for everybody and not just a select few at the top. And that comes with passing policies such as earned sick and safe time, like we passed here in Minneapolis and St. Paul last year. Two of the most comprehensive policies, ordinances in the entire country, which are going to protect 170,000 workers from either having to going to work sick or losing out on income because of that. And this year, we are really, really close to passing a $15 minimum wage here in Minneapolis. Work that has been done for the past 2 or 3 years with the lead of black and brown workers, and here in Minneapolis is finally paying off. In the next few months, we could see the passage of $15 minimum wage ordinance here in Minneapolis, and that will rise over 71,000 people in this city out of poverty. So with that being said, we can say that we are winning, regardless of whatever people say about real progressives and what they're doing. We're not losing. Here in Minnesota, we're winning. And when you win, you pick up a few enemies and adversaries around the way. That leads me to talk about statewide preemption. And the Minnesota Restaurant Association and the Chamber of Commerce, who are pushing a bill called statewide preemption, which will preempt local governments from passing anything related to workers' rights, specifically minimum wage or paid sick days. They have saw that we've gained steam over the last couple of years, and we are forced to be reckoned with here in the metro. So the Minnesota Restaurant Association, Chamber of Commerce, and in coordination with Minnesota State Republicans, have pushed this bill through the House, to the Senate, and now it's really close to going to Governor Dayton's desk. So I'm really excited because I get to give you guys something to do. So I want to ask you guys, really simple, really easy ask. What we want folks to do all over the state is to go and speak to their local elected officials about statewide preemption and why it's a horrible bill. The bill is meant to stop a $15 minimum wage from passing here in Minneapolis. It's meant to stop from earned sick and safe time from being implemented here in Minneapolis. And that will adversely affect thousands and thousands of workers, so the bill needs to be stopped now. So one thing you can do is go to your local elected officials, your mayor, your city council members, and ask them to come out publicly against statewide preemption, because it's horrible for workers and it's horrible for families. Another thing you can do is call Governor Dayton himself or email him and tell him to veto the bill once it makes it to his desk. This is one of those moments where Governor Dayton can define his legacy as a true champion. And I think that's exactly what needs to happen right now. Governor Dayton standing up against the state Republicans who are pushing this and vetoing one of the worst bills we've seen in this state for a while. One last thing you can do is go to the NOC Facebook page and sign the petition asking Governor Dayton to veto it. So those are a few things that you can do to help workers stay afloat in the state of Minnesota. And what we got to remember is right now, again, in the age of Trump, the way that we resist, the best way to resist and most effective way to resist is at the local level. And if we have those tools taken away from us, we will be standing with our hands tied, and we can't take that. I know you guys can't take that. So it's been great to speak to you guys. I think I've ran over my time. What time might be?